You're like, what? Okay, go for it.
We're good. Okay, so you guys, as I said, I started in like end of September, early October, and I started this business because I literally had just got done talking to my financial planner, and she's like, you need a second job to be able to pay off your debts. And I was going, no, like that's not for me. Like I don't want another job. But I realized, with my financial situation, I needed to make a change in my life. So I am a single person living on my own. I pay my own rent. I just recently got a dog. Thank goodness for this business. But I literally could not make ends meet. I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I felt like I couldn't save money. I felt like no matter what I did, I was just constantly striving to make ends meet. And then Amanda reached out to me. I love the products, but I was like, I would just like a couple $100 extra just to pay for the products because I love them so much. I never wanted to be in a business that was network marketing at all. I was like, that's not for me. It took me a while for me to like actually seal the deal. I think Amanda, you and I like talked a few months before I was like, yep, I need to make this money.
Yeah. And it was more for like the customer. Like we were talking about you being a customer. I remember.
Yes. I think it was a host to post I signed on with you. And I was like, after seeing your post and seeing how much money you're making and being able to stay at home, I was like, I need to make a change in my life. And that's when I kind of committed, and I was like, yep, teach me how. I want to learn. And from that point on, I was like, I'm going to go full force.
Yeah.
I need this money.
Yeah, I love that. It's so amazing because we are all from different walks of life, right? And we all join this business for different reasons, but the same reason is that we want more for ourselves. We want to make extra money. And let's just face it, in order to have more in life and to do more things and to be able to not stress, like we need to have money. And sometimes it just takes an additional resource, that additional source coming in to provide us for that income. And so that's why I love this business so much, because you guys, this is a vehicle that allows us to do that. And so it's another way for us to bring in a stream of income. So it's just such a blessing. So, okay, Britt, I want to know, like, when you saw your first paycheck as a diamond leader, like, how did you feel? Sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
So as a diamond leader, when I saw my first paycheck, what was the question? Sorry.
How did you feel? Like, what did it what were your feelings? What were you like, oh my goodness? Or, like, how did you feel when you first opened that, paycheck that had a comma in it?
Oh my gosh. So I think my first paycheck originally was a couple $100, right? Now going into diamond, it was beyond what I expected. I literally, that comma or the, 2,000 plus a month was game changing for me. So I have a full-time job right now, but like I said, it's really hard on my own to make that extra cash. And with that diamond paycheck, I've been able to do so much more with my life, and I was able to pay off credit cards without having to worry about extra expenses. And being a diamond leader, it's like, it literally jumped so much to the point where I literally cried. I was like, this is beyond anything I could have ever imagined when I first joined the business,
Mm-hmm. That's so amazing. So so you originally said like, okay, I joined this just so that I could pay for my products. What was like that turning point that like made you go above and beyond just making $100 with this business? What was that turning point for you? If you just got in to make that money, but now you're making, over $2,000 a month, plus, you're going double diamond this month, that's a big difference.
Yeah. So for me, it was like, as I said, just having the money for product was one thing, but having the extra money, like I have a goal of buying a house and not living in an apartment where it's so cramped and it's just, it's not where I want to be. And having these goals and these dreams and seeing that, that paycheck like expands my dreams so much more than I could ever have imagined. And I feel like, you know, this gets me one step closer to my dreams in life, and I can dream bigger, and I'm pushing even harder, you know, just to get to that double diamond paycheck. I can't even imagine what that feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's going to be a game changer for sure. Double Diamond was the rank that I went to that allowed me to come home to my little ones. So I just feel like that is just a huge game changer for sure. Like Diamond is amazing, you guys. Like I always say, if you're new or if you have not reached that Diamond rank, like get to Diamond as soon as possible, because that is a life-changing like promotion, having that extra $2,000 a month. But going double diamond, you guys, I mean, that is just like a mind blown, like, you know, it's just, it's crazy that you could make that amount of money working from your phone. So one more question, Britt, before we move on. What is it like, because you do work full time and I know you are a very busy person. So what is it like, you know, balancing, you know, work plus your business? Can you give us some tips for those who do work?
Yes. So I realized this the hard way. You know, I was kind of stretching myself thin for the longest time. I was like, Amanda, I'm being naughty. I'm at work and I'm kind of like messaging all day long. But I realized, like, if you want to be successful in this business, you really have to prioritize your time, and you have to invest in, like, I work for my dad's company. And if I was working this business all day long during that time frame, I wouldn't have a job anymore. So I realized, you know, I have to get up an extra hour earlier. You know, starting that miracle morning in the morning has been a game changer for me, because I am so determined to get up 2 hours, not just one, but 2 hours, so I can have that and then have the time to work my business. And then also, so I do that in the morning, but then my lunch break, I have to prioritize my time so well. I do my posting, I do my host to post, I do whatever it takes in that chunk to get it done. And then in my evenings is when I invest. So I literally, obviously we all have a life and we need to learn how to prioritize. But if you're working this business all day long, you're going to get exhausted. Learn from me. So you have to literally set aside time, whether it's 1 hour or 3 hours in the evening, if you can't do it in the morning, whatever it is, but do all the steps in that time and be consistent and continue to post, you know, 3 to 6 times a day, but be consistent and use your time wisely is my advice.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that so much, because I just think it's so true. Like when you, and I keep saying this because I heard it, I can't remember where I heard it from, but like when we join this business, it's not like we have all this time in the world to work this business, right? Like we have to make time for things that we want. And so we just make time for this. And so you figure out, okay, when can I work this business? I started this when I worked full time too. And so that's, you know, I was like, okay, I have to work it on my lunch break. I have to do this then. And I am one, I have to write like a 6 list. So what I would do is before I went to bed, I wrote like a 6 list, which is like 6 things that I had to do like the next day for work, for the business. And if I didn't have that list, I wouldn't get anything done, because I was so stretched. You know, I was working, I have a 2-year-old, like it was just crazy. And so for me to like stay focused and engage with whatever I was doing at that time, like I had to have that list. So when I was like, okay, I had my lunch break, I took my list. Okay, perfect. I have to add people right now. Okay, perfect. I'm going to follow up with these people, you know? So definitely, I think that, you know, it's not that you're going to be given all this extra time now that you have this business. You have to make time and fit it into your current busy schedule. And that's the beauty of it, is that you can work this in between the nooks and crannies of your day, you know? So, Britt, thank you so much. Do you have any other tips for people who are pushing this month for a promotion?
Yeah, I would definitely say, like you said, stay organized. So write down every single person you talk to. Keep a list of people. I think I learned that from you, Amanda, is keep a list of everybody you talk to, your potentials on separate pages. So your May potentials, LCs, May DTs, and then your host to post. Stay organized, put your follow-ups in your calendar, and then also be consistent. As we always talk about, follow those key steps that we have in the Diamond Dream page. If you follow those polls, you will not fail in this business. I mean, we are given all the steps and all the tools to be successful. And I know myself, if I lose momentum, I went on vacation and I was like, oh, I'm just going to work it here and there. But if I lose that momentum, I'm not going to rank up. I'm not going to get to where I want to be. So don't lose momentum no matter where you are. Like I said, like work it in the time that works for you, but be consistent and don't lose faith. It can be challenging at times, but don't lose that momentum and keep pushing no matter where you're at in this business.
Yeah, I love that. And there will be times where, you know, you're like, oh, well, you know, you feel like you might have hit a bump or a rock has been thrown at you or something negative has happened. And that's where you go to, you know, your accountability partner or your sideline sister or your upline, your sponsors. You know, that's where you're going to, you know, like Britt will come to me and say, this is what's going on. How can, like, you know, what can you tell me, you know? And so always come to those people who, you know, who are going to help you through whatever you're going through. Because I will tell you, when big things are happening, you guys, you are going to have, you know, that devil nipping at your feet. You're going to have things that are going to happen and try to get in your way from stopping you. We want to see how strong you are. Like I always say, like the Lord is always testing us, like seeing like how strong we really are. Are we ready for this promotion? Are you ready to make double diamond? Are you ready to get to diamond? Because if you are, you will be blessed in that way. But if you are going to crack as soon as a rock gets thrown at you, you're not ready for that. So you have to be strong and use every outlet possible. You know, as far as, you know, our team, our unity, our tribe that we have, use everything possible to help you get through and get you to where you need to go. Because once you get that promotion, you guys, it's like the best feeling in the world. So those of you who have promoted, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, it is amazing. So thank you so much, Britt. I just appreciate you so much. I know it's always nerve-wracking jumping up here, but you just are a natural and you do so amazing.
Thanks, Amanda. I love you.
I love you. Thank you, my friend. Okay, so moving on, I see Allison, are you good to go? Or Freya? Any of you guys want to go next? Okay, go for it, Allison. Let me see. You can unmute yourself.
Hello. I'd love to go before.
Oh, where are you? Where are you at?
Oh,
I see you, but
I'm not muted.
There you are. Okay. Are you frozen?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think you're frozen though.
No.
No. Okay, go ahead. Is she frozen, guys? Or is it me?
Okay.
Yeah. I think your face is frozen, but maybe your voice is not. So if you can talk, then go for it.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll
perfect.
just smile and hopefully.
Okay, yeah,
it's just on a smile. Yeah.
Yeah, it's frozen right now, but we can definitely hear you. So, okay, so we're gonna jump right in. Okay, there you go. I think you're unfrozen now. So you guys, Allison again, she promoted back in March as Diamond.
Oh, okay.
And can you hear me okay? Or is it kind of lagging? Am I frozen or is Allison? Yeah. I think it's kind of lagging. Can you hear me okay, Allison?
It's fine for me. I don't know, unless it's lagging.
Okay, I think it's good now. Okay. Okay, so Allison just promoted to Diamond in March, you guys, and Allison is amazing. She literally is one of the most like she just goes for it, and she just she finds an answer. If she has a question, she finds an answer. She's very proactive, and that is a huge, it's amazing, you know, to find somebody who's very proactive. Go find the answers if you have one. And so I think it's just so awesome. But Allison is amazing. And so okay, let me see. Let me just stick to my notes. Okay, so Allison, when you went, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself? I don't know if you've ever been on Zoom. Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and why you joined.
So I think my story's a little different. So,
I don't even think I heard.
I've always been a stay-at-home mom and wife. And yeah, I've been married 10 years, and I have an 8-year-old and a 7-year-old, a boy and a girl. I've just been married, and I haven't worked in 10 years, and I haven't had to. And so I don't think I've really heard anybody with that kind of a story. But so I just so we were on a single income, and it was no longer enough. My husband was really stressed out and stretched thin, and he was basically begging me to do something, and I really didn't want to. I mean, I was like, I don't know, I was kind of in my own little world, and I didn't think that anything was really wrong because he was in charge of the finances, and so I wasn't worried. But I mean, just over and over and all the time, he kept saying, you need to do something, you need to do something. And I was like, okay, well, I'll try this $20 thing, network marketing. And I didn't believe it was gonna change our situation. But I was like, I'll do something. So we had all these unexpected costs popping up all at the same time. It seemed like he was really good with finances. He puts money away in savings from every paycheck. He has like 401k or whatever that is. And and I haven't really been involved in it. And we were using up that emergency fund for all these things going wrong. So I started trying this thing so that I wouldn't have to go get a job. I had a lot of hobbies. I was actually trying to build a business selling my crafts. I really wanted to, that was like my dream, to someday have my own business and sell these things that I was making. And everybody had always told me I should, and that was what I was meant to do. But it's really hard to build a business, and it takes years. So we need money right now, and he needed me to do something right now. So this is what I did. And anybody who knows me knows that when I do something, I do it big. I do it all the way. That's how I've always been. I mean, I haven't been making money or anything, but when I do things, I do them big, and I do them all the way. So when I started this, that's what I did. I just did what Amy told me to do. I got my first customer in 72 hours, and the first 5 customers pretty quick, just from sending out that message that she told me to send. And I was hooked. I was like, oh my gosh, I sent that message to 30 people like she told me to. And then as soon as I started getting those couple of first customers, I started sending that message to like everybody. I sent it to 30 more people, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's like magic. So, I mean, I feel like that's all it takes. You just have to get those first customers, and then you're hooked. And so I was super excited, and that's how I got a lot of help with Ruby. I didn't enroll a distributor. When I joined, I didn't think I'd ever enroll a distributor. So my Ruby distributors are from Amanda and Amy. So I got a lot of help with that, but I did get a lot of volume and a lot of customers, and I didn't have as much help with Emerald. I knew that let's see, hold on. I guess that was my story. I want to make sure I don't do it all in one.
No, if you want to keep going, you're more than welcome to. But that's amazing because, everyone has like their own story. Like I said, I've never even heard your story before, but I will tell you, like, Allison definitely is going big right now. You know what I mean? So she's going big. She got herself to Diamond, and she may have had people matching her at the very beginning and helping her along and building her business, but she got to Diamond on her own. She built her business all the way from Ruby to Diamond, or all the way from distributor to Diamond, and she did that. And so So, definitely it's just so amazing to see, somebody who's never even done this. Like, who has done this, a networking business before? Like, I haven't. Probably just a few people. I would say less than probably 5% of people on our team, if even that, has done and dabbled into another business. And so a lot of us have never done anything like this before. And that's what's so amazing, is that you don't have to know what you're doing. You just follow the systems that we have, the steps that we have, and you will see that success. And so, and everyone will work their business differently. Everyone, may have, a little, the way that they do it, their personality maybe, mesh with you a little bit better. And we'll talk about layered leadership in a little bit, but the steps that we have are solid, you guys. So follow those steps and you will get yourself to success. Okay. So what does the month look like for you, going from, not knowing what you're doing in this business? How did you get to Diamond? Like, what were the steps that you did? I know that you said that you followed that. Is there particular things that you do every single day? Like, what do you do every single day that got you to Diamond?
Yeah, I probably would have got Diamond a lot quicker if I would have done it every single day. But I mean, I definitely already came into this with freedom of time. And so, I mean, I work this more than I should. I'm got to work on the time management. And I've always said that, like, consistency is my biggest weakness in every area, like, parenting, just everything. Like, that is my biggest weakness. And so, I mean, I work on it, and then I have to just remind myself that it's not hard. It's quicker than I'm thinking, and it's easier than it's simpler than I'm thinking. I make myself think that it's like something that I can't do at that moment, on that day, because I don't feel like it or whatever. So I really actually do struggle with that, but I know why it doesn't happen faster. I know why I go 2 weeks without any enrollments. I know why those last 2 weeks I get a ton of enrollments, and so what I do is I bust my butt those last 2 weeks and then try to do the other stuff. I do the thing like when I'm resting from something else. This is so easy and simple. You can do it when you're resting. Like, you can do those non-negotiables when you're like tired of doing something else. So, but it just, when I got those first loyal customers, it seemed like magic. Like I said, like I couldn't believe all I had to do was send this message to a bunch of people. And then I just thought, well, what if I send it to more? What if I send it to more and more and more and more? Like, what if I just keep adding people to that pile? I called it a pile. Everybody says planting seeds, or like she was saying this morning about the funnel. I've always thought of it as a pile, because I would just like gather them and throw them on the pile and just keep throwing more on the pile.
Yeah.
And although that's why I'm very disorganized, I think, because of my pile.
Yeah.
So,
Hold on.
so I try to make it a list now, but but it was just more and more and more. And I think that's the key. Like, if it's not working, do it more. Or if you didn't do any for a few days, you're gonna have to do a lot more this next day. So
yes, absolutely. I love that you good night, boys. I love you. I love that you said that, because you're recognizing like where you can improve, because let's just face it, we are all human, and this business is a learning process. But I love that you said that you don't get enrollments when you're not consistent. When you're not working your business isn't growing, right? You're slower then. You're not, you might be plugging into the Zooms,
right.
You might be plugging into the power hours, you might be doing all that kind of stuff. But when you're not consistent with the core 4, income producing activities, you don't see results. but then when you are consistent, you're seeing results. So I love that you said that, because it is very true. When we're not this business, you guys, it takes one of the biggest things is consistency. And the thing is, Allison has been very lucky where, she has been able to cram, things in those last 2 weeks. But I will tell you, as your business goes on and on, that will not be the case, so, definitely, I love how you are recognizing it now so that you can, be consistent, that you need to be consistent. I know for me, where I'm at in the rank of the company, and typically it is kind of diamond and above, but like, if you're not consistent, then you're going to see a huge drop in your business. And so, that's the biggest thing. Like, if you take anything away from like what Allison just said, it's that consistency, and she's proof. And she even admitted, when I'm not consistent, I'm not seeing growth. When I am consistent, I'm seeing massive growth. And she does. Like, when she works that business, like when she is consistent, she is getting tons and tons of people in. So thank you, Allison, so much for your tips and, sharing with us. I know it's just nerve-wracking coming on, so we appreciate you so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then we have Freya. Let me see. I saw you on here.
I'm here.
Hi, Freya. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, Amanda. How are you?
Good. Okay, well, we're just going to jump right into it. Those of you guys who do not know Freya's story, you guys have to check out the live that Freya did on our team page. I think it was last week, and it was just so amazing. So I'll actually bump that thread up so you guys can see it. It was really, really good. But Freya, I just want to get into some really good stuff with you, because you are one who I just look at and I'm like, you are leading your team by example. You are, you're creating that layered leadership, and it's not only with the actions that you're doing, but it's with, you're also leading your team with like mindset and self-development and all that kind of stuff. So, let me go to my notes for you. So can you kind of talk to us first about, you are a super busy mom, and, during the week you're a single mama. So can you kind of talk to us about how you got to Diamond? What were your tasks that you did every single day? What was it that, that you did, morning you woke up to, before you went to bed? What were those things that were like your must that you had to do for your business? And, you can kind of talk to us about consistency and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. So I have to plug in for the Miracle Morning. We're doing it as a team, and we're doing, leadership's doing it with Courtney, and it's amazing. And believe it or not, I was doing my own really rugged, ugly version of a Miracle Morning. I just didn't know it. And that's how I went Diamond. It was pretty silly. When I started reading the book, I was like, oh, that's really bizarre. But yeah, no, to get my day started, I have, just to preface for those of you that don't know, I have 4 very beautiful, crazy special needs kids. 3 that are 7, 1 that is 4.5. And my husband is a truck driver. He leaves on Mondays and he comes home on Fridays. So I have to get all of my girls up in the morning, get them off to school, and get everybody up and going. And then, yeah, we have appointments and physical therapies and everything that I have to work around. And so I plan my whole everything. And so to get my personal development, to get my everything done, I have to get up. I set my alarm for 4:30. I'm usually up by 4:45. I have 3 books on my nightstand. Those are my go-tos. I usually grab one in the morning before I even get out of bed. I read for a few minutes just to kind of wake myself up. Then I get up, I shower. I'm a pharmacist first. I get all my kids' meds all ready for the day. And then we just start our day. I usually, as the girls are getting ready, we usually listen to The Secret. One of my only verbal kid absolutely loves it in the morning. And it's our favorite thing to listen to in the morning. That and Tony Robbins. She absolutely loves his podcasts, and she just hoops and hollers as she runs to the bus every morning about how happy and excited she is about her dreams, and she just makes me giggle. And so, so that's, but that's what we do. And then I have in my notes on my phone every Sunday night, I go through and plan all of my posts. So in my notes, I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and everything from a product post to my hosted post to my opportunity posts are laid out so that when I get time and I set alarms in my phone every day, um, so that I can I set alarms so that so that even though I'm at appointments or if I'm running to the grocery store or throughout my crazy life, I can remember to, oh, I need to go on and post about this, or I need to go on and do host a post, or while I'm sitting, while the kids are at physical therapy and I'm in the lobby, I sit and do host a post. If by chance I have that downtime, which never happens very often, I will sit and do host a post, or I will sit and follow up with customers. But it usually happens this time of night. I wish I could show you what my living room looked like right now. I have a 4-year-old asleep on the floor, have a 7-year-old asleep on the couch, and I have 2 dogs asleep in my lap because we have a horrible thunderstorm and my dogs are terrified. But this is when I usually work. And so this is when I reach out and do my follow-ups and touch base with potentials and customers and do all of that. And this is when I prep for the next day and do all of the things that I need to do. And so that's how I went diamond. It seems insane, and but everything had to be laid out. Everything had to be planned. Everything just had to be stacked, so that I knew where everything was and I could find it quick and handy. Some of my best days happened in complete pandemonium. I had a day, our sweet 4-year-old decided to get RSV and croup. I got 7 customers while I was being transported between home and the children's hospital in an ambulance. And while we sat in the emergency room, while we rapid responded, Abigail, they're all like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, just working. It is what I do. I knew what they were doing. She was fine. She was stable. So I'm, on my phone doing what I do. She's all stuck to my chest like glue. And I'm like, yeah, we're just cuddling. But, I made life work, and it was crazy. And it is still crazy to this day.
Yeah.
It's never going to change in my life. 3 of my girls will live in my house for eternity and forever. They will never grow up and move out, which seems crazy. But I will always be their caretaker, and they will always be in my home. That's one of the reasons why we're building this business, is so that we can provide for our girls forever. And I really, really want my husband to be home more. I hate that he misses out on some of the stuff that our girls do every day. And, they get to FaceTime with him and they get to see him and they get to do those things. But it's really hard for daddy to be gone 6 days a week. And so he provides an amazing life for us. And he works really hard. So we love that. And it gives us the opportunity for me to be home. But we really want daddy to be home. And so this business is giving us that ability that hopefully within the next year, daddy will get to be home quite a bit more. And within the next 2 years, daddy will get to be home full time. So
Yeah.
that's the goal.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
So incredible. I love your story, and you just touch everyone's heart every time you speak. Okay, so obviously this business is just blessing your guys' lives so much, and I love that. Did you guys catch what she does every single day, you guys? There's not a day that goes by that she is not listening or soaking up some kind of self-development, personal growth. I will tell you guys, this business, the work is easy, right? The work, she can do the work, you know, in between stuff. Like I was at Chick-fil-A when Crew was playing in the playground area, I was sending out post to post. Like the work is so simple. It is not hard at all. You can work it in the nooks and crannies of the day. What is hard is being self-motivated. What is hard is being consistent, like what Allison talked about. That is what is hard. This business, you have to be self-motivated and you have to be proactive and productive. And so in order to have that, the easiest way to continue to do that day in and day out is what Freya just said. She does self-development every single day. There's not a day that goes by that she's not having it on. Not a day that goes by that she's not doing that. And so I think that that's just so huge. Okay, so Freya, so how, you know, if you're talking to other people on here and they have team, you know, and they're pushing for diamond or whatever rank, ruby, emerald, diamond, whatever rank that they're pushing for, what's your advice for them as far as like working with their team? How, you know, working close with them, like, you know, knowing how to work with them, all that kind of stuff, because everyone is so different. You know, like I'm super red, but I'm also super yellow. So if you come give me a green, I'm like, I don't know where to find information. You know, like I have to be like, oh, shoot, like this new distributor just asked me something I don't know. Like, you know, like I don't know a lot of stuff that greens know. And so a lot of times I'm texting Courtney or I'm texting somebody to give me the answers for it. But how do you work with your team? Like, what are some of your tips for other leaders on here? And when I say leader, I mean if you have a team, even if it's one distributor underneath you, you are a leader, okay? So how do you work with them, Freya? What's your tips on that? What's your advice?
So my tips. So I was one of those people that waved my hand. This is not my first time being in a MLM. So I've done personal development for years. It's something that I thrive on and I love. But one of the things that I also love is that I love to love people. And so I don't want to say I'm good at it because that's really, really conceited and naughty, but I love to do it. So when I get people on my team, I talk to them. I get to know them, even though I don't know anything about them, but you just have to learn a little bit about them. And then you know how to stoke their fire. You know how to encourage them. You know how to love on them. You know how to do what it takes to motivate them. But I want to read a quote from a book I was reading before we got on tonight. And it's from John Maxwell's Daily Reader. And it says, and I love John Maxwell. If you guys have not read John Maxwell, just go buy any of his books. I don't care what book it is, just buy one and you will fall in love. But it says, and it's from April 25th, and it says, compliments and affirm people. It says, to affirm is to make firm. An affirmation is a statement of truth you make firm in a person's heart when you utter it. As a result, it cultivates conviction. There is a high spot in all of our lives. The author John Matthew Adams wrote, encouragement is oxygen to the soul. That's what it takes. All you have to do is find one thing in every person on your team that just makes their eyes sparkle, lights a fire in their heart, and just feed it. If you can do that, your team will blossom and grow till you are a black diamond and beyond. And it will never stop. Your team will follow you to the moon and back. And it just They will, they will work, and it's not just for you. They will, it's a team thing. And we've talked about that a lot on our team in the last couple of weeks. We've had lots of discussions about the fact that it's not just my promotion, it's a team promotion. I don't just want me to go double diamond this month. I want my team to go double diamond. I want as many rubies to blossom and as many emeralds to blossom. And I want to bring as many diamonds as I can this month. And I want everybody to go. And I will do anything I have to do to stoke their fire and to get them and then to encourage them and to keep them just on fire as much as I can. And every day I'm like, okay, I listen to Tony Robbins and I plug into John Maxwell and I listen to The Secret. And if I find a nugget, I send it to my team. If I find something, that video that one of our leaders posted the other day, I sat and I sobbed while I listened to it because I knew one of our LCs, one of our new DTs needed to hear it so bad. And I posted it in our group chat, but I sent it privately to her with, just a private message because I knew she was struggling. And it's just, you just have to listen to what is in your heart and follow those things and do the things that the Lord teaches you and leads you and where God sends you. And I promise you that when you do those things, your team will burn to motivate. They will crawl through fire to get the team where it needs to be. And that's the best thing. So yeah.
I love that so much. And Freya, it is so true because I feel like you can have a team and you can have a rocking team. Like they can all know how to work and all know how to do that. But if you don't have that unity together, it is not a boat rowing the same way. Everyone is not rowing the same way in that boat. And so I love how you find that one thing in each person and just fuel that fire, speak life into them. And so, you have clearly done that with your team because your team loves you. Your team cherishes you. And, like you said, like our promotions, when, and I learned this probably, I didn't learn this early on like you did. Like, not at all. Leadership does not come natural to me. It's something I have to be a student of every single day. And so, knowing that right off the bat, I'm so thankful that you said that because knowing that right off the bat and treating your team that, okay, yes, they are a distributor on our team, but how can I serve them? How can I help them get to success? Because as soon as you help your team get to that success, as soon as you help them grow, and I'm not saying place underneath them and do it for them, but as soon as you can help them teach and learn this business, and they can grow their business, you will be blessed organically. You will just, you will be blessed. And so that is the way success works. Like I didn't get to ambassador. It wasn't me who got to ambassador. Like our team is ambassador, like there's no way I could have any of you guys without any of you guys. And so, loving on your team and fueling them up and, letting them know that you are there, to help them every step of the way, whether it is coaching them and leading them or just being there as a friend for them. And so I love that so much. And I wanted you to really speak upon that because I see it on your team so well. I see it on Courtney's team so well. So Freya is on Courtney's team, which Courtney is a triple diamond in this business going presidential this month. And I see it on her team so much where the unity is just there. Everyone is like literally like a family. And it's remarkable. And it is why Courtney again and again, has such a strong team every single month. It's stronger and stronger because you guys have that family bond, that unity, that tribe. And it's amazing. So thank you so much, Freya. I appreciate you so much for speaking. Everyone loves hearing from you. And next time you're just going to lead the entire Zoom and I'm going to sit back and take more notes because I already did.
No, thank you, Amanda, for the opportunity. We love you.
You're welcome.
And we're grateful.
Thank you. All right, that was amazing. All of you guys are so amazing. Britt, Allison, and Freya, you guys, thank you so much for, speaking and giving your guys' tips. And I love how vulnerable you guys are. I love how, just say it, like, very vulnerable, because and I love how, like, I'm just going to say Allison again, how she said she knew what is, her downfall in this business, and she knows what she needs to fix, because we are not perfect people. I love how Britt said, okay, there was some things that I had to get past. I had to schedule my time. I had to, figure out when I can do this. And there was times where she felt overwhelmed. And that's okay to feel those kinds of things. It's just, okay, how do we get past this? And what I love about all three of them and all of you guys who are still continue to work your business every day is that no matter what hurdle you're going up against, or what, issue you're having, or what trial you're going through in that season of your business, you guys are all trying to figure out how to do it. You guys are all trying to figure out how to be the best you can, in all areas of your life. And I will say, Britt, Freya, and Allison, they show up to everything. They show up to team Zooms. They show up to power hours. They show up to literally everything that we do as a team. They are there front and center. And so it shows, because when you show up, you guys, you go up. And I know that that's so cheesy and it's so like, whatever, but it is so, so true. So I'm thankful for you guys. So thank you guys so much for sharing all that. I am going to let Courtney, which I just, you guys all know Courtney, but she's going to come on and she's just going to kind of talk to you guys about your mindset for this month and kind of how to end it. We are literally, if you guys haven't seen the pattern of what we're doing this month, we are 100% mindset, 100% self-development, 100% like it needs to happen in our team. Like, I want our team to be the strongest, self-development, like personal growth team out there, because when you have that, you guys, your self-development is parallel to your paycheck. If you want your paycheck to increase, what do you have to do? You have to do self-development. And those of you guys who are new on here, or have been with us for a month, or new to this business, what is so amazing, you guys, is we get paid to better ourselves. We get paid to be the best people that we can be every single day, by reading books, by, learning how to, help other people, by serving. Like what other business or what other job do you get paid to better yourself, right? And like I said, the work needs to happen, but when you have that self-development, that work is just so easy. And the self-development is what's going to keep you motivated and keep you going. Like Allison said, she's like, that's the hard part she has, is that self-motivation. And that's going to stem from having that self-motivation, is going to stem from why you're doing this business. Because that should be so important. Like, I will tell you, there's times where I'm like, man, I just want to watch this, or I don't want to do anything, or I don't want to send out post to post. But then I think, oh, shoot, no, I want to because of my family. I want to because of this. I want to because I know God has given me a job, a task, and I don't want to let him down. So find out why you're doing this business, and it needs to be so strong, you guys. But on top of that, what self-development are you doing? What mindset are you doing every day? Because if you're not doing that mindset, you're not going to be self-motivated. It's just too hard to come by. So, okay, my sweet friend Courtney, take it away, girlfriend. Oh, hold on, you're muted. Oh, hold on.
Am I better now?
Yep, you're
Hey
good.
guys, how are you? I've loved the Zoom so far, guys. Thank you all for being so vulnerable. I love hearing your guys' stories and your success. And yes, I love that our theme this month is mindset, because as you guys are quickly figuring out, you can go executive, you can go Ruby if you're hustling, if you're a big enroller, like you can do that pretty much on your own. And a lot of us that are stubborn, like we'll just get those enrollments and do it. But then you figure out, oh my gosh, like I really can't do much more unless I'm learning how to be a leader, how to have teamwork, how to grow myself. And I've always grown up, like I lived with my parents until I got married for the first time. Like I've always just loved people around me. So I'm not that independent person. So when I joined the business, like I was just trying to bring everyone in, like come up with me, come, love with me, so my mind works a little bit different than Red. But what I've been learning with personal development, guys, and when I taught 4th and 5th grade, trying to teach my students, is like, your success is really built off of your personal development. You will rarely your success will rarely outweigh your personal development, because your personal development, that success is a reflection of the growth that you're having. It's a reflection of what you're doing. You're attracting that success. So if you're not doing anything in your life to attract, like if you're not growing, if you're not learning new things, if you're not pouring into people and teaching people along the way, like, it's going to be hard to attract that success. So your business is going to grow at the rate of your self-development. And any ambassador that gets on and talks, like Claire today, she says the same thing. Like, you have to be feeding into yourself. Life in general is hard enough, but then life, when you're trying to build a team and build your own business and manage time and manage finances and manage family and manage relationships, you have to have that much more self-development. So that is just a given. And you guys all say you love Freya. I stinking love Freya. I met her on a Host a Post, guys, and I fell in love with her the minute I talked to her that night. Like, she was just so sweet. I had to have her on my team, guys. I signed her last May. I checked in with her each month. She was trying products. She wasn't ready to work. Life was happening. And then in December, I checked back in because I just felt that prompting of, like, I need to just keep checking in with her. And my goodness, guys, she has brought so much life and so much joy to our team. And come to find out, like, she's an avid reader like me. Like, she knows if she wins a contest, like, I already know she wants a book. Like, she'll tell me a book that I need to send to her. She knows every John Maxwell book. She knows almost every quote to books that I've been reading over the past couple years. I was telling her we need to do a Slight Edge book club, and she's like, I have 7 copies. Perfect. I can start sending some to some people that might need them. So do your work, guys, and you guys are going to attract these Freyas. You're going to attract these people that just bring new life, not only into your business, but into you. We've cried together. We've planned together. We've prayed over people together. And that is something, that is a business that's bigger than ourselves. That is a God thing. That is having promptings and going off those promptings and not worrying about, is she going to be bugged if I keep checking back? Not worrying about, I don't know why I'm going to cry. I'm lacking sleep, but not worrying about what people are going to think. Like, you have to go off the promptings of your heart when you're checking in with your team. And when Freya says we get to know our team members, we do. We get to know miscarriages. We get to know parents passed away. We get to know I'm on the brink of divorce with my husband, so we have to know what's going on in some of our key players in our baby's life, so we can be tender to them. We can still show them and give them the what is the word I'm looking for, solutions to life, but you can still show that empathy. So for instance, I had a DT a few weeks ago that's super busy with life, and I was telling Amanda, like, I could have just said, I'm super busy too. Like, message me when you're ready to work. Message me, when you have a question. But instead, I had the prompting of, I'm busy too, but let me show you Host a Post, because you can do this in just a few minutes a day. And luckily, she said yes. She's like, okay, show me Host a Post, which I've shown her many times before, but I just decided to do it again. Guys, she got out like 5 Host a Post that night, signed a few loyal customers, and then the next day she messaged me and she's like, I think you found yourself a worker. And I often think, like, had I not done that, had I just said, whether if maybe I was tired that day, maybe I was too busy, maybe I just didn't want to take the extra effort, had I just said, okay, like, it's another person that's busy, like, they'll just reach out to me when they're ready, I might have lost that worker, guys. So we have to heed to those promptings. They're not always convenient. This life is going to be very inconvenient when you're growing. And I love that video that Tiffany posted. And I love that we post inspirational stuff, because that was awesome. And I posted that link in the comments. So scroll up if you guys want to watch that. It's about, I think, like 40 minutes, but it's incredible. And she basically said, like, you are who you surround yourself with. her husband had gone to jail when her baby was like 8 months old. She worked for 3 years and every 2 weeks put her check into a savings account because she grew up in like LA where it was like super crazy, and the odds of her like son like getting into a gang or getting into drugs or was like 66% or something insane. So she was like, I can settle for that, or I can say no, that's never happening. And so she took her son from daycare and brought him to the office with her and worked for hours each night, and then every 2 weeks deposited her paycheck from work into the memo of just saying like, to my dream, to my future dream. And 3 years passed, and she went to the, sorry, I'm like multitasking with the pacifier right now with my 7-week-old. She went to the bank and they were like, so what's your dream? What's going to happen? Like, what is this that you've been saving for? And she's like, I honestly have no idea, but I knew that if I just kept that money, it was going to be spent. So she knew she had to have a plan, and she knew she had to stick with it. And holy cow, I think about us sometimes and some of our distributors that we're trying to breathe motivation into and breathe life into, of like, this is not a quick thing. Growing someone, changing is not a quick thing. This is not a get rich, because we're not at the point where we're ready to get rich, whether we're ready to lead a team, whether we're ready to be able to do good with this money and not just blow it on everything that comes into our mind, an iPad, a car, a refrigerator, I don't know, a new house that we don't need, whatever it might be. God isn't ready to give that to us until we're ready for that. So why do we need self-development? Because you need to be able to help motivate others. You need to be able, when you have a distributor, to come to you and say, like, I don't have time for this. I don't have energy for this. My life's in shambles. You have to have that energy and that love and that mindset in your own mind to encourage another person. Because if you don't have that, you're not going to be able to have influence on someone else. You're not going to be able to get into those trenches. You have gone through some really hard things in your life, so you can say that it can be done, that mountain can be climbed, that suitcase can be pulled, that hurdle can be jumped over. We can sit here and list our trials and the things that have been hard and our excuses that could have got in the way, guys, but it has just made us stronger. But we have to be doing that self-development daily as your team grows, because you're going to have 92 people that have stuff going on in their lives. You're going to have 507 people that have things going on in your life. You're going to be an Ambassador Diamond and have 10,000 people that have things going on in their life. You might not know them by name, but you're going to know it by circumstance, because this life journey is pretty continual through life. Like, you're going to go through trials every couple weeks, every couple hours, every couple minutes, depends on what's going on. So you have to have that personal development. And my business really did change when I started delving into that. And you can see who does that daily. You can feel it. You can feel that light from them. You can feel that things can happen, but they're going to take a minute. They're going to take a second. They might take a day at the most to let things smooth over, and then they're going to jump right back in. But that's not going to happen if you're not feeding into yourself. And that's definitely not going to happen for your team. If you're wondering why your team's not working, if you're wondering why they're not motivated, because you have not helped to teach them that. You have not helped to say, this is a learned skill. Let me give you a book. Let me show you how to do this. Let me love on you. Maybe you had parents that didn't love on you and didn't believe in you. Let me tell you that you're a single freaking mom. You have kids. You don't have to teach for 70 years to be able to put your kids in extracurriculars. You can do that tomorrow if you put your mind to it. You can do whatever you want to do, and no one's going to tell you how your life's going to go. And if you have people telling you that, redirect your circle. You are who you surround yourself with. And if you watch that video, she will say that too. You are those 5 people that you surround yourself with. If you want to be better, you have to surround yourself with those people that are doing those things. You have to be a student. You have to learn. You can't just take an Ambassador Diamonds post, and because they're posting about their kid, you know, that's going to take me to Ambassador. Because they're posting about Thermophyte, I'm gonna copy that, and that's gonna bring me to Ambassador. No, you have to get behind the scenes, and you have to see what they're doing day in and day out. You have to see that there's laundry on a bed and there's a newborn sleeping right next to them, and they are fighting for their dreams, because no one is ever gonna tell me again where my kids are going. No man is ever gonna leave me again and say you're not worthy. Like, that is never gonna happen, and I'm gonna be dang sure that's not going to happen with my kids. And so when days get hard, I work harder. When I'm giving birth and I can lose rank because I don't want to work because I'm tired, I remember those 3 and those 5-year-old little girls that looked up to me and needed me to guide them when no one else was guiding them, when their daddy walked out, you know. So I don't know why I'm getting so emotional, but you guys can do this. You guys can do this. You guys can have the life that you want. That you got to believe that. And whatever that takes, if that takes Tony Robbins on blast 20, hours a day while you're doing laundry, while you're watching TV, while you're driving, you do that. Claire said that today, like have something playing in the background at all times, do what you need to do because only you know that. Only you know that. But your outer world is always going to be a reflection of your inner world. It always is. It always is. So if your outer world seems like it's in shambles, you got to do something in here. You got to do something in here. Until you do that, your team is going to have a hard time growing. Your team's going to have a hard time believing they can do it. So that's all I got. But I love you guys. I stinking love you guys and your stories. And we are all just trying to keep it together on a daily basis. And Allison, I love you for saying like you're not always consistent because some of us aren't always consistent. And we know that because we know that if we are, it's the 7th of the month, all of us would have had loyal customers by now. If we're being consistent, we know how this business works. So evaluate where you're at tonight, see what you need to do. Miracle Morning is amazing. Get into that book club, get reading, get learning. If you don't have time to read, get Audible, make it happen. Find a solution for yourself. You have to find solutions for yourself before you can ever do that for someone else. But that's all I got.
Thank you, Core. We just love you so much, and you're so amazing. I feel like you have everyone on the Zoom crying.
I didn't even expect to do this, so I'm so sorry.
No, you're
Love
good.
you guys.
Thank you for saying all that and just opening up. I just appreciate
Freya, it was you telling me to be vulnerable, telling you we love people being vulnerable. Allison, it's all your fault.
I love it. Well, thank you guys so much. If you guys have any questions, then, use your guys' chat. You guys, our team pages for you guys to ask questions. And, if something is like working for you, like comment on it. Like, let's just like all come together this month and just really help each other out. If something's working for you, like post it, because you never know who that's going to help on the team. And so ask your questions. If you're like, I have no idea how to do this, or I'm struggling with this, you guys go to your team chat, go to your sponsors, because we are all one team, one mission, and we just want everyone just to rise up. So I am just so excited for what's to come. You guys, there's so many huge promotions coming this month. May is literally my favorite month. And so I just love you guys to pieces. There's a few things I want to go over, but I'll just go live, throughout the week and kind of go over some of these things. But throughout the week, we're also going to have other people on this team, as well as just in the company itself, going on live and telling them, sharing some tips with you guys. And so I hope that you guys really soak it up. And some people may hit home more than others, but listen to it all, because I will tell you, I know Courtney, I've known her forever. And I feel like every time she talks, I learn something new. Every time she talks, I take another little nugget. You know what I mean? So sometimes our Zooms might be repetitive, but guess what? What we do is repetitive. Sometimes what we say on lives might be repetitive, but guess what? That's this business. But there's always going to be something that you pick up. There's always going to be, it's like watching a movie over and over again. There's always that little nugget that you missed, or a part that you didn't get before, right? So make sure you guys continue coming up, encourage your teams to come, because I promise you showing up, your team's going to show up. And I just have to give a shout out to even just Rachel Melton, who she is a triple on this team. You guys, she is so sick right now. But look she's on this Zoom. I messaged her when I was like, I see you. Because she's showing up, because guess what? I see a lot of her team on here too. So show up, and I promise you, your team is going to follow you. But the minute you don't show up on a Zoom and you tell your team to show up on a Zoom and they don't see you, guess what they're going to say? Oh, well, I don't have to show up because Amanda's not showing up, or I don't have to show up because of this, so lead your team, you guys, and do that self-development every single day. And you know, if you do that, I promise you guys, you will be so much stronger in your leadership, in your personal life, in your business. And I promise you, your paycheck is going to reflect that. So if you want your paycheck to go up from last month, you guys double your self-development. Get on your self-development. Don't miss a day. I love you guys to pieces. If you guys have any questions, just reach out. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you everyone who talked and everyone who jumped on.
Love you guys. Good night.
Bye guys.